Hey guys, welcome into Unpaved. Sean Salisbury here. So much to get to in sports, and well, not time sensitive. We'll have a lot of time to go over all that as we roll through the coming weeks. And if you got a chance, you heard David Pollock yesterday. Go back and listen to the podcast. He was phenomenal. Today, this is a special treat for me as well. We're on a special treat roll. A guy I've known since he was in the ninth grade. He's the number one recruit in the country at quarterback. He was a first-round draft pick. He's a Rose Bowl champion. You know him. The name itself will bring a lot of attention to it, and as competitive a guy as I've ever been around. He's got stories from top to bottom. He knows what the penthouse and the outhouse and all of it looks like, and he's here to share it with us. His new book is Marinovich, Outside the Lines in Football, Art and Addiction. One of my favorite people, and if you want a guy on your team, players love him, and they always have. He'll fight for you. And he's fighting now, and he's been fighting for a long time, and I'm so grateful to have him on. Let's bring in my guy, Todd Marinovich, now. And I believe my man's out in Hawaii. Todd, you're where we're all supposed to be, brother. Good to have you on, man. It's been too long.
We can't have all of you come here, but I sure enjoy it over here. It's good to be here, Sean. Thanks.
I'm grateful to have you, my man. And, obviously the Trojan family is far and wide. And we've had plenty of conversations. I still go back when you were in the ninth grade playing in high school, and I'm thinking, this is the next star because your guy, Craig Fertig, your uncle, introduced me. I said, this is going to be awesome. Hell, when you came out of the womb, we know you're going to be a Trojan. Let me start right there, Todd. Your family, it runs deep with USC, from Pops all the way down to, your Uncle Craig, who was a dear friend of mine, as you well know. Was there ever another choice for you as the number one quarterback in the country?
Yes. I almost bucked the whole system and went to Stanford. And it was my grandfather, the chief, what a personality he was. He just asked me a simple question. He said, Todd, where do you want to live when you're done going to school? And I said, Southern California. And he goes, there's your answer.
Right.
And it was when he presented it like that, it made sense to me. And the other thing was I didn't want to get beat by USC every year. And,
right. That's right.
I wanted to win a championship. One eluded me in high school, and that was my goal going to college. I wanted to at least compete for a championship, and we got to do that. So it worked out for me.
Similarities is where we were both recruited and up there as the number one guy. The only reason I say that is the recruiting stories you and I had a lot of fun with NIL money at this stage of the game, brother. Unfortunately, we had to sell a few tickets in order to get ourselves some extra money to buy pizza and a cold beer. But as we go back to your recruiting time, is any story that was like that people say, damn, they offered you that or they did that? Any fun stories or something that sticks out to you on that recruiting trail?
I was going to a lot of awards ceremonies my senior year in high school,
right?
Traveling all over the country. And so I was so over traveling that I only took 2 trips, Stanford and USC. And Stanford appealed to my artistic side. They were talking about the art department. Of course, they're all academia, and that sounded good. But when I went to SC, and I told Jack Elway, the head coach, John's dad at the time, he was the head coach of Stanford. He wanted to know, on a scale of 1 to 5, where am I at? 5 being I'm signing with Stanford. I said, I'm a 4. I just have to. I told the family I would take a trip to USC, and it all changed after my trip to USC. I just knew it was home. Yeah.
With you mentioned, winning and the artist, and you are for folks know this he's a phenomenal artist and passionate about it. So if I said, okay, Todd, through this whole process you've been on, if I told you could be the next, I don't know, Rembrandt, or or Tom Brady, that the fanfare and the pomp and circumstance around both, and you only get to choose one, what would it have been, or what would it be?
Oh, undoubtedly Van Gogh, if I could choose.
Yeah. Really, I mean, you're passionate for it, and it's been like that since you were old enough to know better, right? Was it a natural skill just kind of a DNA thing, Todd?
Yeah, it's definitely a gift, and I have practiced it over the years, and there's just no shortcuts. When I decided I wanted to do this for a living, I knew that I lost a lot of time because of athletics. I just didn't have the time to do it, and so I knew that I needed to paint every day, and I did that for about 5 years, and so you know it's it was always there, and it was always when I probably should have been paying attention in school. I was doodling, and it's just a part of me.
And that's what you great artists do, though, right? Everybody else is doing it. You're drawing, and we look over and say, "You can draw that." I bet, because I can't. Everything for me is based on a stick man. I draw a car based on a stick man. I draw a person based on a stick man. You're the guy we all looked over at over the shoulder and said, "Man, he can doodle. He ought to get paid for that." Exactly. And you still to this day have the same passion and love it. Obviously, you do great work, and I've seen it, but you must still love it as much as you ever did, right?
I do, and I'm super grateful that I have something that is so I'm passionate about, and time is non-existent when I do it. It's one of those special things that we all have, and it varies in each individual. But there's something that just time doesn't. It's not affecting, and I can just go and go and go, and it's super special. And about drawing a stick figure, so many people tell me that. They said, I'm not an artist, I can't even draw a stick figure. But with painting, you don't really need to be able to, it helps if you can draw, but it's a totally different medium than just drawing. Painting is, and I've fallen in love with it.
My admiration for you, I think you know pretty well. We are a lot of the circles we run in, a lot of our same friends in the fraternity that is football, and the biggest fraternity, which is our Trojans. And my love for you, man, and having a guy who's been through a comeback story, different from yours, but still the same. I know what rock bottom looks like, and I couldn't be more proud of you, brother, on this journey. And you know that. And if you don't, let me say it out loud even more, because and I know all of our buddies, and I think the thing that sticks out to me the most, aside from the stuff you'll tell us and share with us, not only in the book but today, is the transparency, but also the love your teammates have always had for you. Honestly, our guy Pat Harlow and Leggett and all of it, well, all our buddies, and whether it's college or pro, that's got to mean something to you. And all the way through this, as you're going through a comeback and overcoming rock bottom and reaching yourself back, and all the good and the bad that you've experienced, which is, it's going to be, folks, when you get the book, it's mind-boggling, but it'll change your life as well. It's got to be something that means a lot to you, Todd, through this, the support and love you did. And when you were playing and when you were going through your worst of times, they didn't turn their back on you.
No, who knew when we started playing this game as a youngster that it would have such a impact on my life. Beyond, I could go on, and it's truly the relationships that we have with teammates that make it all worth it. And because it's hard to play football. It's not an easy sport. No sport's easy. And I tell people when I go back to the Raider reunion in Vegas now, or I go to a Trojan game and run into people, we're not talking about wins and losses. We're not talking about what we did in scheme wise. It's truly just people connecting, and I'm super grateful for it. I have some unbelievable friends and football players in my life, and they'll always be there.
Yeah, and you've been a good friend to all of them too, Todd, and that's part of it. Even when you were going through and the constant battle that when you're making this type of comeback that you are and battling addiction all the time. Let me ask you this about the book so far. And I'm going to get to why you did it, but how's it being received so far? We're 2 weeks running. You're number one on the new release bestseller list. So tell me how that feels, man. It's got to feel pretty good. And how's it been received?
It feels good. And the strange feeling was the first time that I actually had the book in my hand, and it became real then. And before that, it was, we were just kind of pretending. And then when I actually had it and can feel it, it was like a whoa moment there for a second. And I really, Lizzie Wright, who helped write this with me,
Yeah, Lizzie's the author, and she's an author of a couple books, and she's the wife of one of your former teammates, Steve Wright, who played in the league as well.
Yes, and I ran into both of them at a reunion in Vegas a few years ago, and Steve was like, I just wrote a book. It was easy. Lizzie will help. I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And I've been asked, and people have commented and suggested over the years that I do that. And I just had no real interest at the time. So it was kind of a timing thing for sure. And I was living over here, and I had some time, and we just slowly knocked it out. And it wasn't easy. I told Steve, man, it was not easy to do. But I'm super glad I did it.
What compelled you to do it? I mean, and was there any part of you that don't want to do it because you didn't want to be transparent about the struggles? But man, Todd, I'm going to tell you, your impact on this may even be bigger than any touchdown pass you've ever thrown to others, which is part of the story. So what compelled you to do it now after all these years and while you're in it?
It's just the time of my life that we chose to do it, for sure. I have done a lot of work personally where I could go into these stories that have a lot of weight to them and speak freely. And I think that says a lot where a person's at, because I couldn't do that before. I'd break down, and that's not the case. And so if I can, like you said, that we'll find out how everything pans out. But truly, if I could help one person, and it's kind of cliche to say, but if one person benefits in any way from my experiences, that's a beautiful thing.
Did you, while sharing this with Lizzie, and when you're sitting down talking, going through story after story and experience and the ups and the downs, did it bring you to tears while you're sharing it?
No. No, I mean, I might break down right here, Sean. I never.
Hey, brother, listen. Yeah, my man, you have carte blanche to say and do whatever you want, and if you do, you don't have to apologize for it, man. You don't. Like I told Lizzie, I love a comeback story, and I always have. Like I said, yeah. I admire it because you know what? The comebacks, I call it rock bottom's a trampoline, my man. And you're bouncing back up, and it's a daily grind. So you get as emotional and share whatever you want. And if I say something you don't want to answer, then you tell me that as well, my man.
You're right. It is a grind. Yeah, what a strange trip this whole thing has been, Sean. I can't even begin. It's hard to put into words. And the older we get, I appreciate it more and more.
Are you? Guess that the emotion part of this is, for me, is it a daily grind still to do it?
Mm-hmm. I mean, some days are more grindy than others.
Is it one of those where you wait? Is it a when you wake up? Because I know your energy, brother. I always have. Is there a fear in this grind?
I'd be lying if I said no. Yeah, I have self-doubt.
Like, how do you get through the self-doubt? What do you do? How do you handle it? The self-doubt, because you've never been a self-doubt guy when you played. That I damn well know. So why? What's the self-doubt?
I just covered it up. I think I've always had a little bit, and competing at high levels like we did. It's going to creep in because you're competing against the best, and you're going to have off days. You're going to have injuries. So it's par for the course. I think that you're going to doubt yourself a little bit. I think it's important not to stay there. Stay in
Right.
that. Immediately, I work on self-talk because I still need work on it. My internal dialogue is sometimes very negative, and so it's a work in progress. I just I'm getting better, and that's something to hang my hat on. I have a long way to
And
go.
the self-talk, Todd, it's like telling yourself you're good instead of not worthy and all that, correct?
Yes. Because I don't know where it stems from or what, and it really doesn't matter where it comes from. It's just what do you do with it? And football and sports has helped my life in so many ways. Just the experience of handling situations and learning from them on the field, they parallel life unbelievably. And the main one is I can't do it alone. I would never step out on that Coliseum floor by myself. It just makes no, I would never talk shit to an opposing player if I didn't have teammates.
Right.
Right.
I'm with you, my man. I'm with you. Well, let me ask you this. The book is Marinovich, Outside the Lines in Football, Art and Addiction. And for those of you who don't know, and maybe a little late to the party, first round draft pick by the Raiders, Rose Bowl champion, beloved by his teammates, legend in Southern California, but also a phenomenal artist, as we've mentioned on the show. All right, if I gave you 30 minutes to have a conversation with anybody alive or passed away, who would it be? Who would you call right now that you need 30 minutes with? Who would it be?
It's an easy one. The Carpenter, 100%.
Who'd you say?
The Carpenter. That would be Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I just want to make sure you made sure others did. I knew when you said the Carpenter, I said that's why I said, who'd you say? I had to make sure I heard you right. Okay. Yeah. But you can't call him. I know you talk to him every day. Who can you talk to? Do you actually have I know that prayer can get you there, but do you have a phone number? Who would you need 30 minutes with if it's not the good Lord?
A hero of mine is Honest Abe. Yeah, that would be super cool. Could it be a musician possibly?
Be anybody.
An artist, an athlete. Shit.
Okay, who would it be if it was not a celebrity? I mean, it may be a celebrity, but you need advice, and it's somebody that's that is in your circle. That if you needed something, you needed a shirt off the back, you needed a ride, you needed somebody to talk you, any of that stuff. The person that you'd call right now.
Jeff Peace. And Jeff's a teammate of mine at USC. We played against each other in high school. And I don't know if we would have ever connected. And after my high school team lost the championship to Jeff's team, and he just dominated the game. And the next morning, my dad said, I haven't seen a guy dominate a game like that since I played one of those. And he goes, right. I think you need to call him. And I was like, what? I'm not going to call him. It's the last person I wanted to call. But when Marv gave a directive, my best interest would not say much.
For folks that don't know, Marv Marinovich is a legend in the football world out there, Raiders, Trojans, all that, and Todd's father. So, yes. Does he know that you call him? Does he know that you're the one? Or is this the first way he's going to, have you told him? Does he know this?
No.
Why not? Why not?
When I did call and I just congratulated him on just total domination, he said, let's go to the beach. And we did, and became roommates, decided to go to US. He was the one that looked at me and said, if you go to Stanford, we're going to kick your ass every year. and he was right, I believe. But Jeff has been a friend in my corner from day one. And, he's a special human. and they're out there, Sean, and thank God for that. Gosh, it makes this life worth living.
Absolutely. That's you see him. It's Todd Marinovich. You can look at the book and get the book and purchase it at marinovichbook.com. Outside the Lines, Football, Art, and Addiction. And Todd joins us for a handful more minutes. This is when you get a chance to talk with this, I'd keep you on forever if I could, brother. But I know it's cathartic, not only for you, but a lot of people. I'm getting stuff here just to talk with you. I love this. People are talking. Internal dialogue is so important. You're already, people are responding to this. What's the biggest regret of your career-wise? What's the biggest regret?
Leaving USC.
Too early? Did you leave too early?
Yeah, I didn't want to go.
Why did? How'd you get talked into it? What happened?
It was just my sophomore year, my redshirt sophomore year.
Yep.
It was an uncomfortable situations, and I don't always respond the way I think I should in uncomfortable situations. I'm learning, and it's with Coach Larry Smith. It was, we just didn't see eye to eye, and I was young. I mean, I was, a 19-year-old that has the world at his feet, and I wasn't making the best decisions, and I felt like Coach Smith was going to play with me a little, pull me in and out of games, and I just didn't want to go through that again, because he did that a little bit my sophomore year, and for good reason. Now when I'm looking back on it, completely, but I let my guys down, and I didn't fully understand that at the time, but because that's what I really never wanted to do. I wanted to hold my own. I wanted them to look at me in the huddle and know that this guy was going to lay it on the line no matter what the circumstance asked for out on the field. I gave it everything.
Well, that's still your rep. That's still the reputation you're held by, brother. As a football player, it is. Whether your competitiveness, whether it's giving the middle finger on the field to in college, whether it's your competitiveness wanting to run out, your competitiveness is still something that we all talk about. And I know how much that meant to you. So were you received well in the Raider locker room immediately or not?
I was, because there was a lot of Trojans on.
But isn't that the perfect place, though? You felt like at times, I know when you got drafted there, my first thought was at that time, I'm at the tail end getting ready for playing football, and I'm thinking, man, if he's going to go, what a great spot. And I grew up the diehard Raider fan. So I'm thinking this is a great spot. But I think we all question, man, we'd have loved to keep him at SC because he was building something special. But, man, I thought, well, the personality fits perfect for the Raiders. So when you walked in that building that first day with the fellas there, I'm talking about it at an organized, not just to sign your contract, but organized. Tell me how you were received by the fellas when you first put the pads on with the Raiders.
I'll never forget it. There were some legends in that locker room.
Oh yeah,
Sean, it was a trip. I felt they were calling me the kid because I was so young. Howie Long.
What a special human being he is.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, there's one for you. And he just took me under his wing, and was remarkable. I mean, if anybody's gonna help me with my self-doubt, freaking Howie. God, and I got to practice against him and Ronnie every day.
Good luck to you, brother. That ain't easy.
And I would get Howie to jump a few times because he's a guesser on the snap count,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he looked at me as that's got to stop. Because practice is different as you get up there into the NFL. it seems like, and Art Shell was just a great player coach, because he had played. It makes a huge difference when you're playing for a guy that's played. And Bo Jackson was cleaning out his locker my first day, and seeing him, because he was larger than life athletically. Holy smokes! And then Marcus, I swear to God, Marcus, the best football player by far I've ever played with, hands down. What a stud! The only guy to get a standing ovation in opposing stadiums.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Special. Pound for pound, as tough as any player I was ever around. Either I was fortunate as a freshman to play, there at SC when he won that Heisman, and that dude was. Defensive guys were running away from him, as you well know, Todd. I mean, he was looking them up, tough, and could play so many. He could throw a football. He could do it all. Catch it, block it. Special. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but he was something, man.
Something else. Yeah. What a stud.
All right. Let me ask you this. And like I said, my man, I know that there's emotion that goes into this, and the intrigue for me, for you, and watching you get through this. There are a lot of people who would have never made it. And you're still in the fight, and you're kicking ass, and I'm proud of you. It's marinovichbook.com is where you can go get it. But when did, I don't know, maybe it was pre this, when did you know for you things were getting out of hand? That it started, that maybe going south, that, man, because listen, man, you're a top quarterback in Orange County, the best in the country. You're SC's guy. You're a first round pick. Was it when you were 10? Was it when you were 20? When did you say something's not right?
Good question. Probably high school. Yeah. I just I went hog wild with booze and weed.
How old were you when you started, Todd?
I was a freshman at Mater Dei, and I remember asking Marv after, I don't know if it was the first game. No, it wasn't the first game. It might have been the first home game at Mater Dei. Afterwards, all the guys are going out to a kegger. And I asked Marv, I go, what do you think? Can I go out with the boys? And he was like, yeah. And that's where it all started. It was so, it didn't feel like a big deal at the time. And it was just it's what people were doing. And that's not an excuse. Like, well, everybody was doing it. Right. Not everybody, not everybody. But the guys that I ran with, high school and college, we just did that together. That was just what we did, and you can probably attest to that.
Oh yeah.
And most of these individuals are huge people, and so they can, withstand a lot of chemicals. And so I felt like I was always trying to keep up with these guys, and it's not a good idea. Especially at USC. What a crazy time, because for me and for a lot of young people, when they're going away really for the first time away from home, and you don't have anybody telling you what to do other than if you're playing on a team, like
right?
Coaches are. And most of my life, I just had to be there about 2:00. I mean, and there was no calling in sick, and that's
right.
One thing that people don't really understand. It's like it's a job, but there's just no calling. You can't call in sick. And there were days, Sean, that I wish I could have called in sick.
I bet. Yeah. What is did you ever want to quit? I'm not talking about football. I'm talking about life and everything. Was there ever a point in time where you thought, I can't make this, I can't make it? And why'd you continue?
Absolutely. It's hard to put into words, but even in my darkest hour, there was light. And I'm an optimistic person by naturally, and there was something that I could feel that I just knew everything was going to work out, no matter what this told me. Because this up here likes to tell me things that aren't true. So it's a good idea for me, and I've learned this over time, just to bounce things off people, no matter what it is, no matter how small or maybe how big it is. To always communicate these things, because if I keep it inside, it doesn't work out. And anything that I could be struggling with, if we shine light on it, it changes, completely changes, and it goes back to, I can't do this life thing alone. I can't do recovery alone. I can't. And if I could, why would I? It's just so much more fun with people.
Right. Let me go back to you. You mentioned Marv, who all of us from Southern Cal know, legend, and loved him. Your pops, legendary stories of, you had your mechanics coach. You had the arm, all the stuff, and you were Robo QB, basically, right? That was the nickname, Robo QB. And from dietitian and strength and conditioning, which your pops was that guy who was in the throes of it because that was who he was.
Yes.
SC with Craig Fertig, who played quarterback at SC, your uncle, all this, and you had everything mapped out. I mean, it was you had it organized, right? Everything. You and I had conversating back in the ninth grade. I mean, I'm watching you in the ninth grade saying, man, it's a good thing I'm leaving school soon enough because I got to keep my job. It was tough enough trying to stave off Rodney Pete for a minute. So thank goodness you were a handful of years behind my guy Rodney. So we've had some good ones roll through there, including you. So let's have a little fun, but also this is serious stuff. Tell me what it was like with all that. Everything kind of planned out for you, and your eating habits and the rest, and the well documented. The story of, well, could you eat a Big Mac? People want to. What was that like? All that, not pressure. Maybe it was pressure, but living up to that. And what was it like growing up, being you?
I always felt different,
Different than others, you mean? Different than other people? Right.
Yeah. And I'm nutty. You know that. I'm definitely not all there. It's being a kid is not, it's not easy.
Did you get to be a kid the way a kid should have, Todd, or was it different for you that way too?
It was what it was, and no, I did fun things, and I enjoyed most of my childhood. If Marv had a fault, he couldn't differentiate between an all-pro 8-year veteran and a third grader.
Right. It was the grind was the grind, right?
Yeah. And I've learned so much from watching and being coached by coaches. And when I get to work with young people and share with them what I've learned, because I feel like I should, and I want
absolutely
to.
It's a must, my man. You have to.
Yeah, I spent so much time doing this. It'd be a shame if I just had some tips and I just.
Well, you've been places none of us have been. So honestly, not only growing up with the access that your pops had because of his connections, with the way you were brought up, with a star everywhere. You're living in Southern California. Everything, a unique talent, all these friends. Hell, there's a lot of pressure that goes with it. So if you don't share your story, you're cheating all of us, man. We got to hear this. That's why the book, MarinovichBook.com, and you sharing this story is so important. And your transparency is epic, my man. And it's got to make you feel good.
Yeah. It does make me feel good. And I'll tell you what, I love the young people, and I love spending time with you know, future stars or just not stars. Um, Kids crack me up, and I was I was coaching a camp one year, and I don't know why this came to mind, but I'm coaching this a kid, and he's looking up at me, and I see his eyes focusing on my mouth, and I go, something's coming, and he just looks up. Why are your teeth so yellow? And I love the honesty, and if I could, if I'm fortunate enough to be around, you know, young people, it keeps me young, and I enjoy it so much. I never thought that I would ever enjoy coaching, but I was wrong. It's really teaching, and I call it teaching because I've had a few bad experience with coaches.
Yeah, I
Uh,
always say teach first, coach second. Anybody can yell and scream. I'm with you, bud, all the way.
yeah, yeah, 100%. Um, yeah, you know, it was a tough fit for me, because football is based like the military. You know, it's so yes, sir. There's a general, the head coach. It's what he says, and there's no free thinking. We don't want that. We just want taking orders and following them.
Right.
That is not me. So it was hard to conform, just to that aspect. But it was so much fun. That's the thing that is a pain in the ass. Is that some areas were it was just too much goddamn fun. So I was in. I was in ever since my freshman year playing against Leggett and Zeno at Fountain Valley against Mater Dei. They were the #1 team in the country, in Orange County, and it was a sold out junior college stadium at Orange Coast College. And my mom and dad met me after the game, and Marv said, was all you put in worth it? And I was like, absolutely. I can't wait. I can't wait to do it again. And we lost. But I've learned so much more in losses than in wins. It's not even close. Yeah.
Couple more minutes with Todd Marinovich, and this is it's an honor and a pleasure for me to be able to do this. Todd, what's been the toughest, and what is the toughest part about the day-to-day dealing with addiction?
You broke up a little bit. I didn't hear the whole thing.
The toughest part for you dealing with, I mean, through all this, I mean, if somebody were to come say, how do I get through it? What advice? And in dealing with addiction that you've talked about and in the book and all the stuff you've gone through and battled and been great at getting through, what's been the toughest part of it? Is it mental? Is it physical? Is it feeling? I mean, you know, when you're going through the toughest times, or even if it's just advice with somebody that's that's going through what you've been through and going through, how do you, when you put your arm around them, what do you say, or what are you guys sharing? What's the conversation like?
You know, I think it's important, and this is like goes with any area of life, that if I'm struggling, I need to find someone that has worked through that struggle.
Right.
And that's exactly what we do in recovery. We find somebody that I can relate to. And when I've shared my deepest, darkest secrets with him, he just takes a deep breath and says, I've done that, and then he'll share what he's done, and worse,
Right.
because you're always thinking that in me especially, that I'm different and I'm doing things so despicable nobody's ever done. I'm a failure, and that's just not the case. I've lost some battles, but haven't lost the war, and I'm still here, which is just a blessing. Yeah, it's tough. There's no really easy way. I think the longer you remove yourself from drugs and alcohol, it's almost like momentum,
Right.
that it becomes, the day to day becomes a little bit easier. However, the mind can get you back into a place that you don't want to be. And you've heard the saying, an addict alone is in bad company. Um, I got to be careful because my profession is solitary.
Right.
Painting, I love painting with people, and I do that a lot, but most of the time it's alone. And that's when, if I'm not connected, that's when this works.
Your thoughts run wild, right, my man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And it's important for me, when I have a not so in line thought, that I bounce right out of it. Just like we were talking about the self-doubt. I want to get out of that. I don't want to.
Right. You don't want to let it fester. You don't want to linger around. It's like throwing an interception, right? We got to come back to the next series, correct? So there's that parallel you were talking about earlier. Let me ask you this: do you still watch football? Some guys who quit playing and stuff. Do you still watch it passionately? Yeah. Watch the Trojans, obviously.
Yeah, I didn't for years, and it was my son. Was actually watching Troy Polamalu.
That's a pretty good watch. Yeah, that'll happen. Yeah, that's a decent watch. I understand where that passion would come from.
When I saw that, I was like, God, I would have loved to play with Troy. Yeah, and then my son getting involved with football. And right when I thought I was out, he reeled me right back in, and I'm a lifer. Yeah,
I love it. So tell us about. Not the end game as far as what you want. What's the goal? Obviously, I'm just talking about in life. You want to be Van Gogh. You want to coach your kid. You want to. What's the stuff? With the birds singing around your head when you wake up, like the fans. What's that world look like for you? What does the future look like for you?
I want to continue. For me, it's connecting with people. The more people I can connect with, the better. And the more time I can spend creating, the better. I think there's magic in it. I can't really explain what goes on. I'd love to, like I said, paint with people and share this the same way I do on the field. I want to share. I want to make it easier for the quarterback or the receiver, and I think I can do that. There's just so many cases where the coaching point is just catch the football. Like,
no kidding. It's like the Little League parent who says the kid hits a foul ball and the kid's 10 and the parents yell, straighten it out. Well, no shit. Yeah, no kidding. Hey, rock and fire, throw strikes. Well, fuck, thanks, Dad. No kidding. I meant to throw it 4 feet outside and stare over at you so you can get on me for not throwing a strike at 9, right? We've all been, right? That's right.
I know. You go to Little League or just any youth sport, it's not funny. We're laughing.
Oh, no, that helicopter stuff's awful.
Yeah,
horrible.
It's not cool. So I think the more teachers we can get, the better. And less screamers and more teachers speaking from the heart. And it's just it's a win-win. Everybody does so much better.
Are you going on the speakers tour for this? You need to. Are you going on the speakers tour for this to go talk to universities and NFL and colleges? And it doesn't even have to be sports related. Are you doing this? And not just the book. Are you listen, we're getting 45 minutes with you, but people need more than that from you. We do. You're a phenomenal inspiration in overcoming and battling this, something that a lot of people and we've seen quit. You got a story to tell. Please tell me outside the book you're going on the road to tell this.
I haven't really overcome. I don't feel.
No, when I say you're in that, I guess I'm saying you're in that battle all the time, which it's a daily overcome, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And I'm so grateful that I have an opportunity today to help somebody, live in the moment, be kind, and try to do the next right thing. It's just I'm just trying to make the best decision I can at the moment. And if I operate from here, man, I do pretty good. But when I start getting up in here, all bets are off. So
you can always call me too, brother. And I'm gonna end this on a great note. This has been phenomenal. The book is Marinovich, Outside the Lines in Football, Art, and Addiction. At marinovichbook.com. Go get it. You will love it. This is just a small dive into what is a difference-making, life-changing read with Lizzie Wright. Steve Wright, a former teammate at the Raiders with Todd, that's Lizzie Wright, who's an author, and I know they're excited about it. And for 2 straight weeks, it's number 1 new release, 2 straight weeks running. So let's end with this, my man. Rose Bowl. I know you're competitive. That win. Tell me, do you remember walking off the field? You know, that big win. What the feelings? You still have to have them, right? Everybody wants to know. You know, we're talking about the mecca of college football wins. What was that like for you?
You know, I remember being exhausted.
Like emotionally and mentally as well.
Yeah, just completely spent. But feeling great, but just depleted. I gave everything, and it was an unbelievable experience. And playing against Michigan, I couldn't have asked for. That's what I grew up watching, and I love their uniforms. I think their helmets are the best in college football. So, yeah, it was tremendous, but it was short-lived. It's then
right.
on to the next.
I asked Coach Vermeil, Dick Vermeil. I said, Coach, what was the worst? I mean, what's your one regret?
Yeah.
Or what's your regret? He said one, that he didn't enjoy the wins enough.
Yeah.
He didn't enjoy them enough. And I could sit back and say, listen, I don't know the number of touchdown passes. I can tell you where I threw the ball the wrong cat plenty of times. And maybe that's just part of that beating myself up. So I understand what you're talking about the battling those inner demons when it comes to your head and telling you you're better than that. But that part of it, but it is. And maybe that's a good thing because Nick Saban seemed to be already focused on the next one when he was walking off with it. So maybe it's not a bad thing is what drives you, but we should enjoy the wins more, and you're winning, my man. And that's a good thing.
Yes. And it's the same thing in recovery. I don't think I'm progressing, and people in my close circle see it before I see it and then can say every day is a win. Every day is a win when I can stay away from that.
We need your voice. You are welcome. You anytime you got a message to send or want to come on, let me lean on you. Hopefully you'll come back and join me again. And we need a reunion of a bunch of our buddies this fall. Yeah. It's get you out of Hawaii and go there and have a little reunion of some good food and some happiness and laughs at one of our Trojan games, brother. This meant a lot to me, and you know I love you. And I couldn't be more. I don't tell you enough how proud I am of of how you're handling this. I think we're not hanging up yet because we got him, I think, a little frozen. Isn't it amazing saying goodbye? Hopefully the freeze will end. Do we got, I don't know, Bailey, if it's us or what. if we can dial him back up or contact him, because I want to be able to say goodbye and let him get on with it. But while we're trying to get Todd back up for the last minute or so for him, these stories are amazing. Remember the last 2 days? I mean, we love the passion of this show and how authentic it is about when JB and I are going after it. We're getting after it, whether it's, something that happened in society or football, but it is authentic and we're never backing down from that. And you've been fortunate. We all have the last couple of days with great David Pollock yesterday, and to listen to Todd Marinovich today and to talk about this book and his struggle. Listen, and we know it's real, but I love how he talks about while he's in recovery, not that he's recovered, while he is in recovery, his story matters. And I'm sure glad he shared it. And as a Trojan, there's this family, and I think all you guys that go to your school have this feeling, whether you're a football player or not, that feeling of love that you get from your teammates or your alma mater, the people go to your school when you go back for a reunion or what have you. And even though Todd and I weren't at SC together, obviously he came like a handful of years after me, but the fraternity runs big. And hearing stories like this, they are your brothers, and we've lost some along the way. And it's a great message that he's sending, because I see here, Annabis 1631, recovering addict, struggle every day. I can tell you this, not because of drugs or alcohol. I mean, painkillers, when I had surgery and staying on them, it's nowhere near what Todd's going through. But I know what my rock bottom looked like. And there were times when I sat there and said, I can't go anymore. There are. And so I'm sure he's went through, but to be able to share that as you've come out the other side and know that battle and that self-talk, hell, I still go through beating myself up in self-talk that nobody else sees. I do. And that I'm not worthy of this, or I'm not, and I don't know where that kicked in along the way for me. Todd said he didn't know either, where like you're confident, all of a sudden you kick in, you start that self-doubt. Maybe it's when you go through struggles that the self-doubt kicks in. I don't know. Maybe like you would in a game. And I thought, well, man, I could overcome that a lot easier than I could the self-doubt in life. But I guess it comes down to just being around good people and keep moving forward. Hopefully, and Bailey, I don't know if you can pop on in here. Can we connect with him again, or is it us? Or
if Todd joins back, we can bring him on. But I think he's out in Hawaii, so we might have lost a connection to him, my man.
We'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes. If you're talking to him, I can get his number. I have it, but just get it, because I want to thank him. But we were winding up anyway, and he was going to say his goodbyes, but I want him to be able to do that, because his emotion and raw, it's hard, man. It's hard, because you're going to get assholes out there that just tough. The addiction ain't no joke, and it's addiction to regardless of what the addiction is. Man, he sounds great. He sounds positive. And as he said, when I asked him what he wanted to get basically out of this book, and Todd sharing, and please let your friends know about this, somebody that's struggling, somebody that's not, maybe it helps somebody prevent them from struggling, is when I asked him about what he wanted, if one person comes away and it's a life changed or a life saved, and he battles it every day to save and to continue on the recovery. Honored. Lizzie Wright did a phenomenal job with this. Steve, her husband, was a great teammate of Todd's, and outside the lines, football, art, and addiction. You can see, guys, he needs to be teaching. He needs to be around these, telling them the pitfalls that befall everybody. And I remember when he left after redshirt sophomore year to go to the Raiders, like, oh man, what a talented kid, and it's going to be okay. And you never know when life hits that changing moment where it flips a U-turn on you, and how you get it back on the straight and narrow path. I love him. I do. I love his story. I love the comeback. I love somebody who deals with adversity. Go through it, that dealt with it and overcame it. So I'll share whatever message he sends with me privately, guys, on his goodbye. But it was a special. These days matter to me. This matters more to any comment I'll give, any X's and O pick that I'll make, any team that I'm going to pick, and any bet you make on a team. This stuff matters, because I can feel it. But he's also one of my Trojan brothers, and I love him. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it about 30 more seconds, and if we don't connect, we'll have him on again. We'll have him on again. But it was sure an honor to, I learned. I guess when I interview people, I want to take something away from it, not the stuff that I know. I want to take from it the stuff I don't know. And I think when you listen to guys like Todd Marinovich explain their grind and their journey, and the journey continues. I don't know if there is a destination, and with what he's going through. The destination is tomorrow and today. So, Todd, when you re-see this podcast, just know I love you, brother, and I'm grateful for your grind, but grateful for your story. So go on in there, share it with your friends, guys. You can hit me on @Sean Unfiltered and at Sean Unpaved on Twitter. We'll have the re-air of this, or you can go to Rumble and hit my name and it will pop it up. But I think these are more meaningful. I do. And while X's and O's matter, these matter to me, life changers, than some touchdown pass the guy's going to throw in the preseason. Although that guy tonight, tomorrow, that's the biggest time of his life. Last week, I'm sure Shedeur Sanders like, this is huge because you've waited for these moments. And Jackson Dart and veterans or somebody who's been in it 10 years. Todd got to experience it. He knows what the penthouse looks like, and he knows what rock bottom looks like. And his story can keep people out of it. So, Todd, I love you, brother. Thank you for your time. And thank you guys for tuning in. More of this to come next week. I think right now we have him pretty much scheduled for Wednesday. And I'll finalize that with Chipper Jones will join us. He got great stories, but what a player, and a great, huge football fan. I'm pretty sure it's Steelers fan, University of Florida fan. So all you other folks get another SEC guy, and they got a pretty good quarterback at Florida. So we'll share that and some of the things that we get into with Chipper. I want to know, he can't pick Maddox, Smoltz, or Glavin. I want to know if he's playing third base, bottom of the ninth, they're up a run, and he's playing third base. What pitcher is he sending to the mound to make sure he wins his World Series? And it can't be his teammates. So I'm going to pepper him with that, and he'll be a great interview because he's just like Todd, just like David Pollock and most people that come on with us here. We're not unauthentic, and there is no filter, and I like it that way. So great hearing from my guy Todd Marinovich. He is special, and have a listen. And I think it's worth it. And I think you guys know that. So we'll look forward to it. Bailey, thank you. Triple E out today. Go home and see his family. We'll be back at it Monday. JB back next week. I know he's been on vacation at his show, and he's doing some family stuff as well. And I'm so grateful to be here. Days like this make my weekend and make me a really happy man because I know Todd Marinovich is changing lives and saving them. We'll look forward to seeing you guys. Bailey, thanks again. And we'll do this again Monday, guys. Look forward to it. Chipper Jones next week with much more to follow. See you Monday at 1 o'clock Eastern.